Okay folks, Doc D back again, recording this for the second time. I ran out of disk space somewhere in the middle of this recording, and so no worries, we'll just start all over again. So what we're doing here is I'm going to go through the first 4 lessons in the SQL Bolt. You can access these lessons by going to https://sqlbolt.com/SQLbolt.com, which will bring you to this page, and you'll scroll down and begin lesson 1, writing SQL series. First thing I want to talk about, and if you have not already listened to my previous lecture on Boolean logic and SQL and all that good stuff, go back and review that. I'll touch on some of that information here, but not in any great detail. The basic query structure for SQL is right here in front of me. So we've got this select, and then column, comma, another column, on, ad infinitum. So what we're saying is that we're selecting, and the column is the thing that we're wanting to display. So if we look back at the previous lecture, and I talked about basically databases are a series of tables. And so in each table we're going to have different columns. And so here we have the ID column, which you'll notice is a unique identifier, and we really need to have that so that we can, because when we do a search, we might come up with the same information, and we need to be able to delineate that. So we need to have this one column that has a unique identifier, and so for this one it's ID. And then we have title, director, year, and length in minutes. So this is a really simple table, has 5 different columns. And so when we go up here to our structure for the query, we're saying select column, and this what we're saying is, what do I want to display? So if I want to, so we'll look over here at exercise 1, find the title of each film. So what is it that it's wanting me to display? It's wanting me to display the title. So when I do my select statement, I'm going to select title, and then the next portion of it is from, and here we're specifying the table that we are pulling this information from. And in a normal database, you know, there could be several, on up to thousands of tables. All right, these are relational databases, and so they will have a relationship to each other. We'll explain that a little bit more in detail later on through the lesson. But this is it. This is the basic structure. As we go on through the next couple of lessons, we'll add some other pieces to that structure of the query, but at its simplest, this is it. So here we go with our first one. So we got select star from movies, and basically what that's saying is that star is a wild card, and it means I want everything. Select everything from movies. And what's it display? It displays everything that's within that table. All right, so that's what it's saying. Select star, everything, all of the columns from the table movies. And you see here our table is movies. All right, first one, find the title of each film. Real simple. Select title from movies, bam. It's going to display all of our titles. Next one, find the director of each film. Real easy. And I'm gonna go back to the original so we can see here. This is the whole thing. Find the director of each film. All right. Well, the director of so we're going to search director, and it's going to pull up all of the directors from movies. Now we get into our 4th lecture, or our 4th set of exercises, and we will actually be able to sort that, and so that we only return one director instead. So there are, I think, 4 John Lasters, so it only return 1. And there are 2 Pete Doctors, and only return 1. and there's 2 Brad birds, it will only return 1. Well, as we get into our 4th one, we'll see how to do that, and then we'll also be able to sort those alphabetically. All right, so next we're looking for find the title and director. All right, so if I just put title, all right, that gets us our green check mark. Now notice if I change the order up, it changes the way it's displayed. Okay, it does things in a very direct way. Okay, next one, find the title and year. All right, and then the 5th exercise here, we want to display all the information about each film. So we're going to go up to our wildcard symbol, select all from movies, and boom, there it is. All right, we'll go ahead and click on continue. Now we're looking at a query that's got some additional stuff to it. So here we have the same query, select column, the thing that we want to display. And again, we can have as many of these as there are columns within that table. If there are 10 columns in that table, we could select all of those. And we could do that by naming those columns, or we could use our wildcard star or asterisk to display all those. From, again, we're looking at this table, whatever that table happens to be. In this case, it'll be movies. And now we're adding the where, all right, which allows us to use our Boolean logic to go through and find the information that meets the logic that we set out for it. And now I will tell you that on a couple of these, there are more than one way to do it. And where those are blatantly obvious, you know, I'll at least talk about how I could have done it differently, or I might actually display it. So there are a couple different ways that you can find the same thing. And when I say a couple, there might be even more, depending upon how inventive you are with Boolean logic and how in depth you want to go. But again, it's just kind of like if you're looking for something on Google, the words that you type and the order that you type, and they all make a difference in finding what it is that you are looking for. And SQL is no different by being inventive and knowledgeable in the use of our Boolean logic and wildcards. You can find the things that you are looking for. All right, let's scroll down here. So we still have the same table. The table is movies. Find a movie with a row ID of 6. All right, so what are we looking for? It says find a movie. Well, what are we actually looking for? We're looking for the title. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to replace that wildcard with title. All right, now it's returning all of them. And now what I want to do is I'm going to use that conditional. So I'm going to go here at the end of movies and I'm going to add my where statement. Now I don't necessarily have to have capitalized keywords, but it makes it easier to read. And it makes it easier to follow and know that, you know, this is a keyword versus something else. All right, where, and here's where I'm going to put my logic, my Boolean logic. All right, and so I'm going to say where ID equals 6, and that returns The Incredibles. Woohoo! Next, we're going to find the movies released in the year between 2000 and 2010. This is one of those that you could do a couple different ways. I'm going to do the Boolean logic first, and then I'll talk about using the between and the not between, actually the next two ones. So again, we're looking for titles. Find the movies. Well, what that means is we're looking for titles released in the years between 2000 and 2010. Now, because it's saying between, all right, we're thinking inclusive, all right, meaning that I need to include the year 2000 and the year 2010. It's really important when we're using Boolean logic, all right, where year, all right, All right, and so I'm going to say, so between. So we're going to say greater than or equal to, oops, 2,000. All right, that got a lot. And that really I should capitalize that. And now notice I have to say year again. All right, because I'm on the other side of the and, I still have to say year. So in this case, we're going to say year is less than or equal to, because we want to be inclusive of 2010. All right, and that returned everything. Now, I could use the between clause, which is actually a little shorter and a little more simple. All right, so if I go in here, and I'm just going to delete all that, where year between 2000 and 2010, and it's going to return the exact same thing. So the between is actually just a little bit shorter, but again, I use Boolean logic, and so that comes more natural to me. You could use whatever you want. All right, to be good at this, you just need to have familiarity, and again, do what makes sense for you. All right, so the next question, find the movies not released in. So real simple for that is I could say not between, and that'll return it. Or I could do the Boolean logic where year, let's see, where year is less than 2000, or year is greater than 2010. Oops. And it's saying it incomplete because I didn't put the year back in there. Year is greater than 2010, which is going to return the exact same thing. Hope this is all making sense to everyone. All right, number 4, find the first 5 Pixar movies in the release year. All right, I'm not gonna lie, I had to go to the solution on this one because I'm like, how would I know? So yeah, just delete all that out, and let's put our wild card in there. So the threshold here is 2003. How would you know? This one was not done well. So basically, we're gonna do. I'll just copy and paste this here. Select title from year, title, comma, year. So again, we're going to select title, year from movies where year less than or equal to 2003. And why is that not working? What's the solution say? Same thing. And again, this is not a very good one because how would you know that 2003 would be the threshold? All right, moving on. All right, SQL lesson 3. So again, we've got more of the Boolean logic here. And just to reiterate that, our query is going to have the same format where we select, and then the things that we're selecting are the things that we wish to display from the table that we're actually looking at. And again, in a database there could be many tables, all right? And then where condition, and we can actually stack conditions on here. So find all the Toy Story movies. So we're going to select title because that's what they're wanting, right? They're asking for the movies from movies, and so we've got to have some type of conditional here where what? Where title like, and that should be where title is like what? And then because we are using strings, I'm going to put toy, and then I'm going to use my little % sign. All right. So again, that percent sign means it matches 0 or more. So if there were actually a title in there that was just toy, then it would return that as well. All right. Find all movies directed by John Lasseter. All right. So again, we're looking for title from movies. And now we're going to be using where director, and because we're looking for an exact match, we're going to say is equal to, and when I went through here earlier and doing this, I misspelled his name, and I was like, why is it not working? All right, so there we go. Now notice again, because John Lasseter is a string, all right, I've got it in quotes, and it does matter that if I put that in there, we're not going to get it. But so that space is actually a string, all right. And so again, a string is just an entry off of the keyboard. It could be a number, or it could be a special symbol, whatever. Strings are just entries off of the keyboard. All right. So the next one, find all the movies and the director. So we're going to add title, comma, director. From movies, where director equals John Lasseter. Well, we're getting close. We still haven't got our golden check mark here. All right. But with one stroke, I can change that. All right. So find all the movies and the director that are not directed by John Lasseter. So there is a sign for not equal to, and that's basically putting an exclamation point in front of the equals, which says not equal to John Lasseter. And so now what we have is we have everybody where each movie where the director is not John Lasseter. All right. So moving on to the next one, find title from movies where title, and so now we're going to use that like thing. Or title, and we'll say like, and then we're going to use quotes, and we'll use wall, and then we'll use our 0 or more characters to match those. Simple. All right, so on to the next. So now we're going to be able to order our now we're going to be able to order the results that we return, and so you'll see that here. So we've got the query where we have select, and in column, which are the things that we want to display, from my table, which specifies the table we're looking at. We have the where condition or conditions, that we're going to be looking for, and then within those conditions we're going to be able to order by, and we can do in ascending or descending, alphanumeric, meaning alphabetical or numerically, so we can do those ascending or descending, and then we can also do a limit, and we can also do an offset, which basically means that the limit means it'll only display however many I specify results, and then the offset would be it'll go through those all of the results, and then if I say offset 5, it won't use those first 5 results, and I think that'll be pretty self-explanatory here in just a minute. All right, so here we're still using our same movies table. List all directors of Pixar movies alphabetically without, oh yeah, so so here we have our distinct. All right, what distinct means is that when it goes through and it tabulates the results, it will weed out any duplicate answers to that. All right, and so we'll see that here in just a second. All right, so list all, and so we're going to select directors from movies. All right, and then we're going to order. And how are we ordering it? By directors. Oh, and we're only looking for, so we want distinct. Distinct, and not directors, director. Order by director, and then we need to, so default is ascending. Alright, so I could put ASC, or if I want descending, I put DSC. Alright, so because the default is ascending, it starts off, and I don't actually need to stipulate that. Alright, list the last 4 Pixar movies released, ordered by most recent to least. Okay, alright, so we're going to select title and year. Title, comma, year, from movies, order by year. Alright, and then we want descending, so we're going to go DESC. Alright, and then we only want 4, so we're going to do limit 4. Limit 4. There we go. Alright. List the first 5 Pixar movies sorted alphabetically. Alright, so now we're going to go, we just want the title, from movies, by year. Actually, we don't want it by year, we want it by title. We'll do 5, and then we want to assort them in ascending order instead of descending. And actually, because ascending is the default, it meets it, or I could say ascending, and it's going to give you the same thing. But again, if I don't specify it, ascending is the default selection for that. All right. So list the next 5 Pixar movies. So we're going to select title, from movies, and then let's see. So now we're going to do an offset, because we're not interested in those first 5, we want the next 5. And so if I do offset of 5, that'll give us the next 5, and there we go. I hope this has been helpful for you. Short little video kind of getting you into it. For those of you who have already submitted, thank you, good job. For those of you who are still working through this, hopefully this will help you. And so Doc D out, and have a great day.